Hello YouTube world, my name is Serenity and welcome to Staying Serene. Today we'll be sharing a college video on what I learned from a full year of online classes. Around this time last year, I never expected that I would spend my entire sophomore year of university online taking virtual classes. But due to the international pandemic and COVID-19, that is what my sophomore year of school looks like. In front of my computer every day at home taking my virtual classes. And let me tell you, I was actually kind of looking forward to it when it first started. I mean, it sounds like a dream come true. You get to stay home, wear whatever you like, and do whatever you want while in classes. I mean, this is like what we wanted as kids, you know, to stay home all the time and just do classes. But I was kind of surprised by what I learned from this year because it was not at all what I thought it would be like. So let's get right into this video. Number one, the first thing that I learned was just the importance of in-person classes. I think it's really true that you don't miss a good thing until it's gone. And in-person classes is something that I took for granted. You know, for my entire education, from primary school to high school, you know, taking in-person classes, that's just what we do. That's normal, that's traditional learning. But this COVID pandemic forced my university, the University of the Bahamas, to go into online virtual learning. And let me tell you, that was a transition for all of us, for our teachers who had to get used to this new technology, and for us as students to, you know, get everything that we need while in virtual classes. It's like completely different. And so I actually started to miss in-person classes. I know, surprising, but I so want to just go back to traditional learning. I miss having to wake up and go to class and get dressed. I miss sitting in class, having discussions with your teachers, seeing your friends, and just how easy it was then to communicate with everyone. It's just a little bit more impersonal when you're in a Zoom meeting, and so much more different than when you're in-person classes. So this whole online experience has just taught me the importance of in-person classes, and I actually miss it. And I'm actually kind of upset that I took it for granted for so long, because in-person classes is actually amazing, and I would love to return back to traditional learning. So that's the first thing that I learned. It's just really how important in-person classes are, and I just missed it so much that I was forced to do virtual classes. So the second thing that I learned was just how difficult online learning is. You think it would be easy just taking online classes from the comfort of your home. You know, you can actually go to class in your pajamas, which I think we're all guilty of. You could actually eat in class, you can literally do anything. And so it's really much more freeing than in-person classes, but I think that also makes it a lot more difficult. The first thing that is so difficult about online learning is that it's just so easy to get distracted. You're sitting at home and literally anything could happen. The phone could ring. You're literally in like your home, your place of comfort. So you can literally like go to classes while you're in bed. You can go on the internet, you can watch TV, you can go to the fridge and look for some food. Like, it's just so easy to get distracted while you're in-person learning. I know for me, it was easy to get distracted because I'm literally in class on my computer on Zoom, and then in another window I have YouTube up, or I have Pinterest, or I have Instagram, and I'm scrolling and I'm doing things during class. And I know I shouldn't do that, but it was just so easy because it was like right there. And I know I'm not the only one who struggled with this, getting so distracted, because it's so easy to get sidetracked when you're literally on the internet in class. Another thing that I found very difficult was to stay motivated. I didn't realize how much I relied on my teachers to motivate me, because when you're in class, it's so easy. You see your grades and you see your results, and your teachers are pushing you and encouraging you. But when you're doing online classes, it's really, you have to be self-motivated, and you have to have a lot of discipline and a lot of self-control, which I realized that that's a muscle that I need to work on, because I was not as disciplined and self-controlled as I wanted to be. And I was unmotivated as well. And especially when you have an asynchronous course, which I had, which is a course that is self-paced, and the teacher isn't really on your back for certain assignments. It's more like self-paced, so you choose like when you get assignments done, that type of stuff, and you may not even have Zoom meetings or meetings with your teacher. So with the asynchronous course, it really relied on me to motivate myself to get work done. But that type of pressure is really easy to get behind. So I had to learn how to motivate myself so I can get work done. And I know as the semester, at least last semester, as it weared on and on, I started getting tired, lazy, and unmotivated. I didn't feel like doing anything, but I had to hold on so I could finish strong. But Online learning, it requires a lot of motivation, a lot of self-control, and a lot of discipline, and that is something that I need to work on. So that's what really surprised me, just how difficult it is when you're doing online learning. The third thing that I learned from online learning is the need for social interactions. So if you didn't know, I'm an introvert. And so you would expect virtual learning to be an introvert's dream. It's something that an introvert would always want, not having to see people and, interact with people. But for me, I just felt lonely and isolated during my online classes. You're doing it, instead of doing it like with your classmates, your teachers, your friends, it's like you're doing this all on your own. And I just saw that I had a need for social interactions. I felt really lonely and I felt alone, and I didn't want to feel alone. And so I realized that I had to be intentional to maintain my relationships with my friends, and I had to be the one to reach out and to just push myself, even though it was hard, to call and to text and to do these things to maintain relationships. Because when you're doing online learning, it really is like you're alone. And I spent a lot of time alone by myself at home, and so it's really easy just to feel isolated from everyone and everything. And so to make myself feel a little bit more social, I did things like I went out with some friends where I could, called, text, and just use technology to stay in touch with friends and family. So that is a very important thing to do because, you're alone, and it's important. I just realized that it's so important, even if you're an introvert, to have your social needs met. So that is the third thing that I learned from online classes. And I think it's an important lesson to also take away from the COVID-19 pandemic, and just the importance of connection and being connected to others. And so I want to encourage you, if you haven't, just to start calling your old friends up and just trying to do your best to keep in touch with those that you may have drifted apart from in the last year. So those are the three main lessons that I learned from online learning, and I hope that you actually learned something from this. It looks like my next year, my junior year of university, is going to be another virtual learning experience, so we're going to see how that goes. If you also have taken virtual classes in the last year, please put your comments down below on what lessons you've learned and what you thought about it. Also go up into the iCards above, where you're going to find the video that I made last year on what I learned from my first year of university. So those are lessons that I've made. I'm thinking of making this like a yearly thing, so hopefully next year you're going to see a video on me talking about my junior year, and then hopefully my senior year graduating from the University of the Bahamas, God willing. Also, I do have an Instagram account at @StayingSerene, where you can find inspirational and encouraging content that I create myself. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Okay, bye!